Hello everyone, this is Al RedSoxFan coming to you from Al RedSoxFan YouTube station. Hope everyone's well on this Sunday afternoon, and we're going to continue with our Action PC Baseball Beatles Eternally All-Decade Tournament, brought to you by good friend of the channel, moderator extraordinaire, magician extraordinaire, and musician extraordinaire, soon to be knighted by the Queen, Beatles Eternally. This is the all-decade teams battle one another for the ultimate prize, the Decade World Series. Teams battling are the decade teams from the 1800s up to the 2000s. In today's matchup, the 1910 decade, and the starting pitcher Walter Johnson will be taking on the 1990 decade and Roger Clemens. Best 2 out of 3 in round 1. Who shall advance, we shall see. And I'm going to do a quick little sound check, so bear with me. Guys, the Decade World Series. Sound seems good. If you can hear me, please acknowledge. It sounds like A-OK. My second screen is not working properly. I'll get that taken care of after. I will be going in between innings to the chat, so feel free to comment, and let's get to the ball game. Let's go to the lineups here. The home team, the 1900 decade team. The visiting team, the 1910 decade team. All games are being played at Camden Yards for this tournament. Once again, brought to you by Beatles Eternally. Leading off for the 1910 decade team, Trish Speaker in center field. Batting second, playing left field, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Batting third in right field, Ty Cobb. Batting fourth, the cleanup hitter, Sam Crawford. Batting fifth, playing third base, home run candlestick maker Baker. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Eddie Collins. Batting seventh, doing the catching, Chief Myers. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Terry Turner. Batting ninth, and doing the pitching, the freight train, Walter Johnson. Johnson had a record of 29 wins, 14 losses, 2 saves, 1.49 earned run average. On the mound, Roger Clemens. And Clemens, in his year of choice, 20 wins, 9 losses, 2.58 earned run average, struck out 246, walked 70. Behind the plate, Ivan Rodriguez. At first, Frank Thomas. At second, Roberto Alomar. At short, Barry Larkin. At third, Chipper Jones. In left field, Albert Don't Call Me Joey Bell. In center field, Ken Griffey Jr. And in right field, Larry Walker. I will be playing as the 1910 decade team. The computer will have control of the 1900 decade team. Make sure let's turn the managerial job over to the 1910 decade team to the computer, and we have, so Trish Speaker will lead off. Excellent bunter. Corners are in for the 1900 team. 1990 team, excuse me. Chipper Jones in at third, Thomas in at first. Speaker batted .341, 4 homers, 87 RBIs. Clemens gets the sign from Pudge Rodriguez. He deals to Speaker. Speaker swings and lines out to Sandy Alomar, who leaps and makes the catch, robbing Speaker of a base hit. Web gem right away by Alomar. So 1 out, no one on, and here comes the not so pleasant to look at Shoeless Joe Jackson. looked much better in 8 men out, that's for sure. He batted .344, 6 home runs, 83 RBIs. Again, like with most of these dead ballers, excellent bunters. Corners in once again. Jones in at third, Thomas in at first. Rodriguez wiggles the fingers, Clemens nods his head. The windup and the pitch to shoeless Joe Jackson. Jackson sends that ball up the middle, past the lunge of Larkin. That's a 1-out single for shoeless Joe Jackson. Excellent base runner. Thomas will hold him on. Here comes Ty Cobb. Cobb, .374, 6 home runs, 101 runs batted in. Corners in once. Ten out of 10 bunter, 6 out of 10 hit and run. We're going to let Cobb swing away on his own volition. The windup and the pitch to Cobb. Cobb goes down on strikes. Big swing and a miss. He was swinging from his knees there. Clemens racks up a K, so there's 2 outs. Jackson will be off on contact at first. Thomas still holding him on. And here comes Sam Crawford. Crawford batted .352. with 10 home runs and 93 RBIs. This lineup stacked with lefties and switch hitters. Ivan Rodriguez goes through the signs. Clemens nods his head, peeks to first. Here's the pitch to Crawford. Crawford sends that ball up the middle. It's going to get down in front of Griffey. And going first to third is shoeless Joe Jackson as he was off on contact. And here comes home run Baker, the candlestick maker. 316, 8 homers, 94 runs batted in. Another left-handed stick in this lineup to face Roger Clemens, the hard-throwing righty for the 1990 decade team. Clemens takes a deep breath on the mound. He deals to Baker. Baker grounds it up the middle. Alomar backhands it behind the second base bag, throws to Thomas, side retired. So the 1910 decade team threatens but does not score. We go to the bottom of the first. And let's go to the 1990 decade team lineup. Leading off, Sandy Alomar playing second base. Batting second, doing the catching, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. Batting third, playing right field, Larry Walker. The cleanup hitter playing first base, Frank Thomas. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Ken Griffey Jr. Batting sixth, the third baseman, the switch-hitting Chipper Jones. Batting seventh, playing left field, Albert Don't Call Me Joey Bell. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Barry Larkin. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Roger Clemens. Alomar 10 out of 10 bunter. Corners will move in for the 1910 decade team. Baker in at third, Crawford in at first. Johnson gets the sign from Myers. Here's the pitch to Alomar. Grounder to Turner at short. He backhanded, throws to Crawford, one away. Here comes Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. 323. 22 homers, 86 RBIs. So you have Johnson on the mound. 29 and 14, 2 saves, 1.49 earned run average, struck out 250, walked 65. Behind the plate, Myers. Crawford's at first, Collins at second, Turner at short, Baker at third. Shoeless Joe Jackson in left, Trish Speaker in center, and Ty Cobb in right. Here's the pitch to Ivan Rodriguez, one away. Another ground ball, Baker deep in the hole, fires to Crawford for out number 2. So Turner, has been a busy camper at short. 2 fine plays, 2 excellent throws, and 2 outs. Here comes Larry Walker for the 1990 decade team. 327, 28 homers, 100 runs batted in, left-handed batter. Johnson gets a sign from Myers. He deals to Walker. Walker sends that ball out to left field. Jackson on the run towards the line. He will not get there. That's going to be off the wall. And Larry Walker has a 2-out double. He's in scoring position for Frank Thomas, the big hurt. Thomas batted .339, 42 home runs, 124 runs batted in. Walker, a good base runner at second. Collins kind of cheats in behind him. Johnson takes a quick peek. Now he deals to Thomas. Thomas swings, sends that ball deep to left. Shoeless Joe Jackson going back, and he looks up, and it is gone. A 2-run blast by the big hurt. The 1990 Decade team takes a 2-0 lead. The big hurt is greeted by Larry Walker at the plate and Ken Griffey Jr. 2-0 1990 Decade team. The freight train, known as Walter Johnson, has just become a little derailed. Hello, Alan Shaw. How are you, my friend? Can you hear me A-OK? Hopefully you can. My second screen's down. I did a quick sound check. Seems all right. If you can just acknowledge that you can hear me, that would be awesome. Back to the ball game. Let's just type for a second. Again, my second screen's down. I want to make sure I am being heard. So I've just typed to Alan Shaw. Can you hear? Can you hear you? Wrong. Can you hear me? Bad typing, Alan RedSoxFan. And he can hear me fine. Excellent, excellent, excellent work. Second screen's down. I do apologize for that. I'm going back and forth between... normally I have the second screen up and I can see right away, but in between pitches I do bring up the chat. So 2 outs, 2-0, the 1990 Decade team. Here comes Ken Griffey Jr. Jr. batted .301, 45 home runs, 123 runs batted in. Walter Johnson looks in at Myers. Myers sets the target. Here's the pitch to Ken Griffey Jr. And that ball goes to right. It's going to get down in front of Cobb. Griffey takes a wide turnaround first, but thinks better of it and goes back. Cobb has a 7 out of 10 arm in right. Tris Speaker, 9 out of 10 in center. And Shoeless Joe Jackson, 6 out of 10 in left. Here comes Chipper Jones, a switch-hitting third baseman. He's batting left-handed off the right-handed throwing Walter Johnson. Jones, .324, 35 home runs, 106 RBIs. Griffey will be off on contact. Johnson throws over to Crawford. Griffey dives back. Again, Johnson looks to first. Now gets a sign from Myers. The windup and the pitch to Jones. Grounder up the middle. Johnson snags it, throws the first side, retired. But the 1990 Decade team gets on the board first thanks to the 2-run blast by the big hurt Frank Thomas. We go to the top of the second, 2-0 1990 Decade team. Due up for the 1910 Decade team, Collins, Myers, and Turner. Eddie Collins, the second baseman, .329, 3 homers, 72 runs batted in, as with most of these dead ballers. Excellent bunter. Corners are in for the 1990 team. Jones in at third, Thomas in at first. Here's the pitch to Eddie Collins. Collins swings, goes to Alomar, dives, and he throws to Clemens. Johnny on the spot, covering the first base bag as Thomas was in for the bunt. Great play by Alomar. Diving stop on a ball going up the middle. That's a second base hit he has robbed from the 1910 Decade team. And Clemens, Johnny on the spot, paying attention, got his big body over to first for the putout. So 1 out, no one on. Here comes the catcher, Chief Myers. .316, 2 homers, 45 runs batted in, right-handed batter. The windup and the pitch by the Rocket. And he strikes out Myers. 2 down. Here's the number 8 batter, the shortstop Terry Turner. .278, 1 homer, 43 runs batted in, 8 out of 10 bunter. He's going to drop one down. He puts down a pretty good one, but it goes foul. Smart play by Pudge Rodriguez, letting it roll foul. The count's no balls and 2 strikes. Clemens is in the driver's seat. The Rocket Man looks in, nods his head, he deals to Turner, and that's a shot to center field, but it's right at Griffey, and that's out number 3. We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0, the 1990 Decade team. Two up, Bell, Larkin, and the pitcher Clemens. And I shall be back in a moment. And we are back. Thank you for your patience. And leading off the bottom of the second, Albert Bell. I almost called him Joey. Don't want him to get mad at me. Bell, 308, 41 home runs, 127 runs batted in to face the right-handed throwing Walter Johnson. The windup and the pitch to Bell. And Bell sends that ball deep to right center field. Trish Speaker on the run, and he makes the leaping catch, crashing into the wall. Trish Speaker covers a lot of ground, robbing extra bases, possible triple from Albert Bell. So one down. And here comes Barry Larkin, the shortstop for the 1990 decade team. 310, 17 homers, 72 runs batted in. 10 out of 10 bunter. Corners will move in for the 1910 decade team, as I'm probably getting those names mixed up, and I apologize if I do. Baker in at third, Crawford in at first. Johnson gets the sign. The windup and the pitch to Larkin. Larkin swings and sends that ball up the middle for a one-out single. Larkin, excellent base runner. Great chance of stealing second. Crawford holding him on. Here's the pitch out. There goes Larkin. Myers throws down. Collins covering the bag, and they nail him. Out number 2. Great job. They called the pitch out. Myers not with a strong arm, 4 out of 10. But the pitch out helped him tremendously as Collins applied the tag on Larkin. So 2 outs, base is empty. Clemens has a 1-ball, no-strike count. And he will wait for his counterpart Johnson to deal. Here's the pitch. And Clemens sends a shot out to shallow center. Speaker makes the diving catch. So a bid for Roger Clemens to extend the inning comes for naught as Trish Speaker makes 2 fabulous plays this inning. We go to the top of the third, 2-0 the 1990 decade team over the 1910 decade team. Due up for what we'll call the dead ballers, the pitcher Walter Johnson, then Trish Speaker and shoeless Joe Jackson. Johnson, 236. He actually had 2 home runs and 14 runs batted in. The Rocket Man looks in at Pudge Rodriguez. The windup and the pitch to the freight train. Johnson swings, sends that ball out to left, and that ball is gone! Walter Johnson just destroyed that Clemens fastball, and it's a 2-1 game. Walter Johnson helped his own cause. My God, did he wreck that pitch. And here comes Trish Speaker. Corners move in. Jones in at third, Thomas in at first. Speaker 0 for 1. Clemens is shell-shocked that the freight train Walter Johnson just destroyed that pitch, and pulled to within 1, the 1910 Decade Team. Here's the pitch to Speaker. And Speaker goes down via the K. Big swing and a miss. So 1 out. No one on, and here comes the not-so-attractive shoeless Joe Jackson. He's 1 for 1 today. Again, corners stay in. Excellent bunter, Jackson. Ivan Rodriguez goes through the signs. Clemens nods his head. The big windup and the pitch. Jackson sends that ball out to center field. Griffey is there, and he makes the over-the-shoulder catch. 2 away. So it's a 2-1 ball game. Base is empty, and here comes Ty Cobb. Cobb is 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. 10 out of 10 bunter. 1990 Decade Team playing their infield normal, though. Here's the pitch to Cobb. Cobb swings, dribbler down to third. Jones barehands it, throws to first. I don't think they got him. He is out. What a stretch by Frank Thomas. Cobb is not happy with that call, but the side is retired. The 1910 Decade Team does get on the board thanks to Walter Johnson's home run off Clemens. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-1, the 1990 team. 2 up, the top of the order for the 1990 Decade Team, Alomar, Rodriguez, and Walker. Let me check out the chat here. As now we have phone delay. Hold on, I will be right back. And we are back from phone delay. So Alomar to lead off the bottom of the third. 2-1 ball game. 1990 Decade Team ahead. Corners will move in for the dead ballers. I am managing the dead ballers. The computer, the 1990 Decade Team. Baker in at third. Crawford in at first. Johnson looks in at Myers. Myers sets the target. Here's the pitch to Alomar. Alomar drops the bunt down anyway. They throw to Collins on the wheel play, and they got Alomar. 1 away. He still dropped the bunt down, even with the corners in. Here comes Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. The catcher's 0 for 1. Johnson's ready. He kicks and fires. Rodriguez fouls it back. No balls, 1 strike on it. Myers wiggles the fingers. Johnson nods his head. Here's the pitch. Rodriguez sends that ball up the middle. Speaker can't get to it. Drops in front of him. A 1-out single. Rodriguez, a very good running catcher. 7 out of 10 running ability. Crawford holding him on. Here comes Larry Walker. Walker's 1 for 1. A lot of power, Walker. 28 home runs in his year of choice. Johnson throws over to first. Rodriguez just gets back as Crawford applies the tag. 1 out, 1 on. Turner and Collins up the middle looking to turn 2 for the 1910 Decade Team. Johnson's ready. Myers sets the target. Here's the pitch to Larry Walker. Walker swings, grounder to Collins. Collins quickly goes to Turner, leaps over Rodriguez, and he throws to Crawford for the double play that ends the inning. We go to the top of the fourth, 2-1, the 1990 Decade Team. 2 up for the dead ballers. Crawford, Baker, and Collins. Hello to Ken Castro in the chat. How are you, my friend? Ken Castro says, hey guys, Al, my power is back. Excellent. Good to hear, my friend. Good to hear. As Alan says hello to Ken. Ken Castro's had his sleep with an arm and leg warmers in the bed, LOL. I feel your pain. We were without power for 6 days when the tornado hit years ago here in this area. No, that was a snowstorm, the freak snowstorm. Excuse me, it was when the freak snowstorm the same year. So, as Ken Castro says, let's go dead ball. Alan Shaw says, where is Big Mac? Good question. I didn't see him on the team. I'll have to check out the rosters after. Actually, let's go. He should be on the bench, so let's check that out. You're talking about, I believe, Mark McGuire. Again, my second screen is down, so I have to go back and forth. So I'm not as quick to respond to the chat, but I will respond. And that's the bullpen. All right, let's go here. Greer, Ventura. No, he's not on this team. So I wonder if he's on the 2000s. It'll be interesting to see when we get there. All right, so Clemens back out on the hill, and here's Crawford to lead it off. The windup and the pitch, corners playing in. Crawford swings, goes to Alomar. Alomar throws to Thomas, one away. The fans here who are rooting for the 1990 Decade Team, very happy. Again, all games are being played at Camden Yards, neutral field. Here comes home run Baker, a.k.a. the Candlestick Maker. 0 for 1. Again, corners in. He's an excellent bunter. The Rocket Man gets a sign from Rodriguez. Clemens deals to Baker. Baker, hard ground ball to Larkin. Throws to Thomas. 2 down if you're scoring at home, 6-3. Here comes Eddie Collins, the second baseman for the Dead Ballers. He's 0 for 1. Excellent bunter. He's going to drop one down. 10 for 10 on the bunt. The throw to first. Alomar covers. Do they get Collins? Yes, they do. He fooled no one. Go to the bottom of the fourth, 2-1. The 1990 Decade Team over the Dead Ballers. Walter Johnson back out on the hill, 38 pitches. Johnson good for 150. He will face Frank Thomas, Ken Griffey Jr., and Chipper Jones. If anyone gets on, Albert, don't call me Joey Bell. Thomas 1 for 1, and what a hit it was, a 2-run homer to give the 1990 Decade Team a 2-0 lead until Walter Johnson gonged one off Clemens, and 2-1, and that's how it stands. Johnson looking to get some revenge on Thomas. Nods his head, the windup and the pitch to Frank, and he strikes him out. Swing and a miss on the 1-2 count. Here comes Ken Griffey Jr., 1 for 1. 1 out, no one on. Griffey awaits the Johnson offering. Here it is. And Griffey goes down on strikes on the 1-2 count. Froze him with the knee cheese. First 2 batters up, first 2 batters down via the K. Here comes Chipper Jones. Can he be the hat trick in the inning? He does not want to be the hat trick in the inning. He is 0 for 1. Myers wiggles the fingers. Johnson quickly nods his head. Kicks and fires. And Jones goes down on the strike. Wow, big swing and a miss by Chipper Jones. 1, 2, 3 go the 1990 Decade Team via the K. The freight train is back on the tracks. We go to the top of the 5th, 2-1. 1990 Decade Team over the Dead Ballers, 2 up. The catcher Myers, then Turner, and then Walter Johnson. No soft touch. He homered off Clemens. Let's go to the chat real quick. Alan Shaw is correct regarding Big Mac, Mark McGuire. I will check out. He's not on this team. I remember when I was loading the pictures, I didn't see him, so he must be on the 2000 Decade Team. Again, this tournament is brought to you by Beatles Eternally, good friend of the channel. Once again, I'd like to thank Alan Shaw and Ken Casra for joining us on this Sunday for Game 1, best out of 3 in this all-decade World Series tournament. So Myers is 0 for 1. Clemens up to 64 pitches, good for 135. He's a strong lad on that mound. Rodriguez wiggles the fingers, sets the target. Clemens kicks and fires. Myers swings, sends that ball out to left center field. Griffey has a beat on it, and he makes the catch. 1 away. Here comes the shortstop, Terry Turner. He's played very good short. He's 0 for 1 today. Corners are in. Again, 8 out of 10 bunter. Let's see if Turner can slap one past the drawn-in corners. He awaits the Clemens offering. Here it is. Turner swings, and he knocks it right past Chipper Jones for a single. Larkin tried to make a lunge for it. He couldn't get to it. So a 1-out single by Terry Turner. Excellent base runner. 8 out of 10. 62% chance of stealing second. Here comes the freight train, Walter Johnson. He's 1 for 1. He hit a solo shot off Clemens back in the top of the third to help his own cause. Excellent bunter. 10 out of 10. The corners move in, but Walter Johnson will be swinging away. Clemens deals to his counterpart. Rodriguez goes out to the mound first. Now back behind the plate, and here's the pitch to Johnson. Johnson swings and he singles to right. Turner hits second base and will hold. So Walter Johnson is 2 for 2, a home run and a single. 2 on, 1 out for the top of the order, Trish Speaker. Speaker is 0 for 2. Turner the tying run at second. Johnson the go-ahead run at first. Infield normal for the 1990 decade team, even though Speaker's a 10 out of 10 bunter. And we're going to let him swing away. Chance to tie the ball game up. Turner, excellent base runner. Bell has a 5 out of 10 arm in left. Griffey 6 out of 10 in center. The best arm is in right. Larry Walker 8 out of 10. Here's the pitch to Speaker. 1 out, 2 on. And he lines one, and that's going to trap in front. And Bell cuts it off. Turner hits third base and scores. Johnson goes first to third. We have a tie ball game, folks. It's 2 to 2. The dead ballers tie it up on the 1-out single by Trish Speaker. And here comes the not so pleasant to look at shoeless Joe Jackson. He's 1 for 2. Jackson had 83 RBIs in his year of selection. Walter Johnson 90 feet away. He's the go-ahead run. The 1990 decade team wants to turn 2 up the middle with Larkin and Alomar. Clemens is ready. Here's the pitch to shoeless Joe Jackson. Jackson is jammed. He's popped it up towards the third base side, towards the stands. Jones gives chase but runs out of room. Souvenir for a fan. It counts no balls, 2 strikes. Jackson in the hole. Clemens peeks to first. The windup and the pitch. Jackson swings, sends that ball to center field. Griffey going back, makes the catch. Johnson will tag and score. The dead ballers take a 3-2 lead on the sacrifice RBI fly ball by shoeless Joe Jackson. Griffey had no play. So it's now 3-2 dead ballers. Trish Speaker, 10 out of 10 base running ability, being held on at first by Frank the Big Hurt Thomas. And here's Ty Cobb. Cobb's 0 for 2. Cobb looks ornery. Clemens looks ornery. Rodriguez sets the target. Here's the pitch. Cobb swings. Fly ball right center field. Griffey on the run, and he makes the catch. Side retired. But the 1910 dead ballers scored 2 and have taken the lead 3-2 thanks to the sacrifice fly by shoeless Joe Jackson. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 2 up for the 1990 decade team. Bell, Larkin, and Clemens to face the freight train, Walter Johnson. Let's go to the chat. Mark Forsberg's jumped in the chat. He says, hello, Al. On vacation. Going to enjoy my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Mark. Many more happy, healthy ones to come, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're enjoying the game. Hope we can give you a little birthday celebration. Alan Shaw says, happy birthday to you, Mark, tomorrow. A little early, but that's fine. Back to the ballgame. Here's Albert Bell, 0 for 1. Myers goes through the signs, sets the target. Here's the windup and the pitch by Johnson. Bell swings, ground ball. Turner charges it backhands, quickly turns and fires to Crawford. Did they get him? Yes, they did, I think. And they did. 1 away. Nice play. Turner so far has been exquisite at short. Here's Barry Larkin, 1 for 1. Representing the tying run at the plate, Larkin had 17 home runs in year of selection. Corners will move in. He's a 10 out of 10 bunter. So Baker in at third, Crawford in at first. Here's the pitch to Larkin. With 1 out, he sends that ball to left. Jackson goes back and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Roger Clemens. Clemens had no at-bats in his year of selection. Again, the pitchers hit in this tournament. It's a big advantage for the dead ballers. He's 0 for 1, the Rocket Man. He'd like to rocket one out of the stadium to tie it up, just like his counterpart on the mound did, Walter Johnson. Johnson deals to Clemens, and Clemens sends that ball deep to center field. Speaker goes back in front of the wall and makes the catch. The Rocket Man gave it a ride. but it just ran out of fuel. We go to the top of the 6th, 3-2, dead ballers. 2 up for the 1910 dead ballers, all-decade team. Crawford, Baker, and Collins to face Roger Clemens. Crawford 1 for 2. 9 out of 10 bunter. He's going to drop one down. Infield normal. He drops a good one down. He drops a good one down, and that's going to be a bunt base hit. What a bunt by Crawford. He saw that the infield was normal and back, and he just dropped a beauty down, put it in no man's land. So he has the leadoff bunt single. Big insurance run at first, and Thomas is playing behind him. Crawford has a 61% chance of stealing second base. And now, with home run Baker up, he's a 10 out of 10 bunter, 6 out of 10 hit and run. We're going to play hit and run. There goes Crawford. And that ball's launched to right center field deep, and Griffey makes the leaping catch. Crawford will tag up from first. Here's the throw by Griffey, and he's safe. I'll be back in a moment. And we are back, thank you. So Crawford moves up on this fly ball. What a running catch that Griffey made. Robbing Baker of extra bases and possibly an RBI, as Crawford was off and running on the hit and run. Here comes Eddie Collins, the second baseman. He's 0 for 2. 10 out of 10 bunter. Clemens is ready, deals to Collins. Collins lines to Alomar, who throws to Larkin, covering the bag, but Crawford dives back in. No double play. Alomar, wonderful job at second base. So 2 outs, Crawford will be off on contact, and here comes Myers, the catcher. He's 0 for 2. Rodriguez sets the target. Here's the pitch to Myers. There goes Crawford. That ball goes to right field. Griffey puts a charge on it, but Crawford comes around and scores without a throw. And the dead ballers are up 4-2 in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. Clutch 2-out single by Myers to knock in the run. And Terry Turner, the shortstop, comes to bat. He's 1 for 2. He scored a run. Myers, 5 out of 10, running ability. Thomas holding him on. Clemens peers in at Rodriguez. He kicks and fires. Oh, he comes in and he nails Turner. And Turner has a few words for the Rocket Man. And the Rocket Man just stares at him, a la Mike Piazza, who's actually on this team with Roger Clemens. And here comes Walter Johnson. So 2 on, 2 outs, 4-2 dead ballers. Johnson's 2 for 2. He has homered off Clemens and singled. He has 1 RBI and 2 runs scored. Clemens deals to Johnson. Johnson swings, sends that ball to center field. Griffey on the run, makes the catch side retired. The dead ballers do get 1 more, and they now lead 4-2. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 2 up the top of the order for the 1990 decade team. Alomar, Rodriguez, and Walker. Alomar's 0 for 2. His stellar defense has not panned out at the plate. Corners move in. He's a 10 out of 10 bunter. The windup and the pitch by the freight train. Alomar goes down. Swing and a miss on the inside fastball. So 1 away. Let's go to the chat real quick, as everybody's wishing Mark Forsberg a happy birthday. Ken Castro should have beamed the Rocket in the head. Back to the ball game. 1 out, no one on. Rodriguez is up. Catcher's 1 for 2. Johnson works quickly. That's a grounder. Baker has it. Has to quickly release. Rodriguez runs well for a catcher, and they got him just by the hair of the chin. So 2 up, 2 down. Larry Walker comes to play. Walker's 1 for 2. Power hitting right fielder. Lefty to face the right-handed throwing Walter Johnson. Walker has doubled and scored. 4-2 ball game. Johnson's ready. He deals to Walker. Walker swings, dribbler to Crawford, goes foul. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. Walker's back in the batter's box, left-handed batter's box. Myers wiggles the fingers. Johnson nods his head. Here's the pitch. Walker goes the other way. It's going to drop in front of Shoeless Joe Jackson. So a 2-out single keeps the inning alive. And now the tying run comes to the plate in this 4-2 ball game. Frank the Big Hurt Thomas, and he has already hit a 2-run homer off Walter Johnson. If he duplicates the feat, it will be a 4-4 ball game. Myers goes out to have a quick word with Johnson. Now back behind the plate. Crawford holding Walker on at first. Here's the pitch to the Big Hurt. It's a dribbler, third base side, but foul. Counts 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Big Hurt. Johnson throws over to first. Walker is leaning. He's back. Safely, Crawford applied the tag a little too late. Crawford still holding Walker on. Johnson takes a peek. Now gets a sign from Myers from behind the plate. The windup and the pitch to Thomas. Thomas swings, sends that ball deep to left field. Jackson going back, and it's gone. Another 2-run blast for Frank, the Big Hurt Thomas, and he has just tied the ball game up at 4. So the 1990 Decade team has tied up the Dead Ballers at 4 thanks to Frank Thomas. He has knocked in all the runs for the 1990 team, Decade team. Both 2-run blasts off Walter Johnson. It's 4-4. What a ball game we have here in this all-decade World Series tournament here at Camden Yards. So 2 outs, base is empty, and we have a new game. Griffey's 1 for 2. Johnson deals to Ken Griffey Jr. Griffey swings, and he sends that ball, but quickly cut off by Cobb in right center, and he holds Griffey to his single. Griffey, good base runner, 7 out of 10. Johnson throws over. Crawford, not in time. Griffey's back. And here's Chipper Jones, the switch-hitting third baseman's 0 for 2. Johnson up to 90 pitches tonight. He deals to the chipper man. Jones swings. There goes Griffey down the throw down, and he is safe. So Griffey is in scoring position with 2 outs. He gets himself in scoring position with that stolen base. Jones knocked in 106 runs in his year of selection. Johnson peeks over his shoulder. Now the freight train comes homeward bound. Jones swings, and that ball's going to get to right center field, and Griffey comes around to score, and it's 5-4 1990 Decade team. What a huge stolen base. What a clutch hit by Chipper Jones. So the big stolen base by Ken Griffey Jr., and then the clutch hit by Chipper Jones, 5-4. This is all with 2 outs, and here comes Albert Don't Call Me Joey Bell. He's 0 for 2. So that's the first run not knocked in by Frank Thomas for the 1990 Decade team. Here's the pitch to Bell. 2 outs, 1 on, and that's a strike. What was he attempting to do? Oh, Jones was trying to steal. So no balls, 1 strike. Johnson fires the first. Jones is back, dives back safely. Johnson peeks the first. Here's the pitch to Bell. And he strikes, another strike, but not a strikeout. So no balls, 2 strikes as Jones attempted to steal once again. Once again, Johnson throws over to first. Jones is back. Fans getting a little antsy here. Myers sets the target. Here's the pitch to Albert Bell. That ball's going deep to left. Jackson going back, and he makes the catch on the track. Nice running catch by Shoeless Joe Jackson. But the 1990 Decade team strikes 3 times. The 2-run blast by Frank Thomas ties it up at 4, and then Ken Griffey Jr. steals second, scores on a 2-out single by Chipper Jones. It's 5-4 1990 Decade team over the Dead Ballers. 2 up for the Dead Ballers. Top of the order, Speaker, Jackson, and Cobb. Clemens up to 109 pitches. Let's go to the chat. Nothing new in the chat. We have Ken Castro, Mark Forsberg. Again, happy birthday to Mark tomorrow. And Alan Shaw. And they're witnessing quite a good game here. Speaker, 10 out of 10 bunter, but he's swinging away. He's 1 for 3. He has a single and an RBI. Here's the pitch to Speaker. Speaker lines out to Larkin. He hit it hard, but right at Larkin at short. One away. Here's Shoeless Joe Jackson, 1 for 2. 9 out of 10 bunter. He represents a tying run at the plate. Jackson would love to find a gap and go for a triple or possible inside the park home run. Clemens deals to the shoeless one. Jackson swings, dribbles it up the middle. Alomar backhand turns, throws to first. Out number 2, scoring at home 4 to 3. So 2 outs, no one on. Here comes Ty Cobb, the ornery one, 0 for 3. Cobb peers out at the mound. Clemens peers at Cobb. Rodriguez sets the target. Here's the pitch to Cobb. Cobb dribbles it to Larkin. Quick release to first, and they got him. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The 1990 Decade Team 5, the 1910 Decade Team 4. 2 up for the 1990 team, excuse me, Larkin, Clemens, and Alomar. Larkin's 1 for 2. He has a single. Johnson up to 93 pitches. Again, good for 150. He's not tired. Corners in. Larkin's a 10 out of 10 bunter. Johnson rocks and fires. Larkin swing. Ground ball to second. Collins throws to Crawford. At first, he got back to cover the bag. 1 out. Here comes Roger Clemens. He's 0 for 2. Johnson wants to make quick work of him. He deals. And Clemens again sends that ball to center field and deep, but Speaker's there. So 2 up, 2 down, top of the order. Here's Alomar, second baseman, 0 for 3. He actually bunted his last time up. He still got him. And that was with corners in. So again, we will move our corners in. 10 out of 10 bunter, Roberto Alomar. Baker in at third, Crawford in at first. Here's the pitch to Alomar. 2 outs, no one on. Ground ball to Collins. He backhands, throws to Crawford at first. Side retired. 1, 2, 3. Go the 1990 Decade Team. We go to the top of the 8th. Clemens still out on the hill. 118 pitches, good for 135. Due up for the dead ballers. Crawford, Baker, and Collins to face the Rocket Man. Crawford 2 for 3 off the Rocket. He has 2 singles and a run scored. 9 out of 10 bunter. Roger deals to Crawford. Crawford sends that ball to center. Griffey moves to his right a bit and makes the running catch. That carried a bit. 1 away. Griffey stayed with it the whole way. And here comes home run Baker, the candlestick maker. He's 0 for 3. If he jacks one out, we have a tied ball game. 9 out of 10 bunter. He's going to drop one down. Infield normal. He drops a great one down. And another bunt base hit by the dead ballers. What a bunt by home run Baker. So tying run at first, 9 out of 10 base running ability, 58% chance of stealing second. Here comes Eddie Collins. Collins is 0 for 3 in this game. The Rocket has had his number. Collins 10 out of 10 bunter, 5 out of 10 hit and run. Rocket throws strike. We're playing hit and run. There goes the runner. There goes the swing. It's foul down the third base line. Oh, it's fielded. What did they call there? Safe. Jones fielded in fair territory. He should let it go. He did not. That's an infield hit. So 1 out, first and second. Baker the tying run at second. Collins the go-ahead run at first. Excellent speed on the base paths. And here comes Myers, the catcher, and he is 1 for 3. 316 batting average, but we might call him back. Let's see. All players are eligible in this tournament. So if a team has 40 players, they're all eligible. If a team has 35 players, they're all eligible. Let's see who hits righties. We got a lot of players. Man, we have a plethora of players. And no one really hits righties. Myers still might be our best option here. Larry Doyle, 325. Myers is 316. Slugging percentage, 484. We might go with Doyle here. He's a lefty. I'm not seeing anybody else. Our switch hitters. We're going to go with Larry Doyle. Larry Doyle will come in to pinch hit. There's Doyle. Myers is out, so Doyle comes off the bench. Big moment here. 5-4, 1990 decade team. There'll be a new catcher in the bottom of the 8th. Baker's at second. He's a tying run. Go-ahead run at first in Collins. Doyle a 10 out of 10 bunter, 6 out of 10 hit and run. 325 off right-handed pitching. Doyle batted .319 in year of selection. 7 home runs, 68 runs driven in. Clemens is ready. He deals to Doyle. Doyle swings. It's a dribbler towards first and foul. So the count's now 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 2 on. 5-4, 1990 decade team. Clemens trying to hold the lead here. 128 pitches. The windup and the pitch to Doyle. Doyle launches one and that ball is gone! A 3-run pinch hit home run by Doyle. And the Deadballers take the lead 7-5. What a job by the pinch hitter Doyle. Destroying that Clemens pitch to right. And that's the day for Clemens. The new pitcher, Mark Eichhorn, has come in a little too late. Eichhorn 6-4 with 4 saves, with a 2.5 earned run average. Struck out 75, walked 28, and Roger Clemens, and wow, did he get destroyed today. Let's just give you his final numbers real quick. Clemens went 7 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned. He gave up 2 home runs, and he struck out 3. The last home run being off from the pinch hitter Collins, a 3-run blast. The other one, Walter Johnson, his counterpart. Johnson so far still in the game, 7 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. He's given up 2 home runs, both to the big hurt Frank Thomas. No walks, struck out 4. Let's go to the chat for their reaction. It's been quite a ball game here. As Super Sport 22,000 has joined us. How are you, my friend? It's now a 7-5 ball game thanks to the Doyle pinch hit 3-run homer. Let's go back to the ballpark. Bring the chat down. And so 1 out, base is empty. Here's Turner. He's 1 for 2. Corners in for the 1990 decade team. The windup and the pitch by Eichhorn. Grounder. Jones comes charging in, throws to Thomas for out number 2. So playing in for the bunt helped out Chipper Jones there on the number. So 2 outs, base is empty. Here's Walter Johnson. Johnson is 2 for 3. That was all off Clemens. He homered and singled off Roger. Mark Eichhorn gets a sign from Pudge Rodriguez. Here's the pitch to the freight train. Johnson swings. Grounder. Thomas backhands it, and he flips to Eichhorn, covering the backside, retired. But the 1910 decade Deadballers score 3 thanks to a 3-run pinch hit home run by Doyle. And they now lead 7-5. We have to insert a new catcher. And the new catcher will be Shock. 8 out of 10 catch it range, or as I call it, defense. And 6 out of 10 arms, so he'll come in to catch. Ray Schalk, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. S-C-H-A-L-K. He's the new catcher. Has a better arm than Myers. Slightly better defensive catcher. And the freight train, Walter Johnson, the Deadballers will deal with Rodriguez, Walker, and Thomas. Devon, Pudge Rodriguez, 1 for 3. He has a single. Johnson gets a sign. The windup and the pitch. And he strikes out Rodriguez. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Deadballers with a 7-5 lead. Here's Larry Walker. Walker 2 for 3. He's derailed the freight train on a couple of occasions. He has a single and a double, and he scored 2 runs. Here's the pitch to Walker. Walker sends that ball deep to right. Cobb looks up, and it's high off the wall. And Walker has a 1-out double. He continues to own Walter Johnson. And here is the big hurt. Frank Thomas, 2 for 3. If he hits his 3rd 2-run homer, we will have a tie ball game. His 2 hits, both 2-run blasts off Walter Johnson. Should we take Johnson out now? Thomas has owned him. No, Johnson wants to stay in. We're going to let him stay in. 1 out. Walker's at second. The tying run, the Big Hurt at the plate. Johnson gets a sign from Shock. The windup and the pitch. Thomas swings. That ball's going deep to left center. He's got number 3 off Walter Johnson. Another 2-run blast by the Big Hurt. And we have a tie ball game at 7. Wow. As Johnson just is dejected on the mound. What are the odds of the Big Hurt hitting 3 2-run homers off the freight train Walter Johnson? I guess they're pretty good because he just did it. It's a 7-7 ball game with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Here's Ken Griffey Jr. The dead ballers get some bullpen action up. Here's the pitch to Jr. And he walks. He stole a base and scored his last time up. Chipper Jones. Johnson throws over Crawford. Applies a tag and they got him. They picked him off this time. Nice play by Walter Johnson and Crawford. So now Jones represents the go-ahead run at the plate. Base is empty, 2 outs, 7-7 ball game. This stadium is abuzz. They have witnessed the Big Hurt mash the freight train Walter Johnson 3 times for a 3 2-run blast. Johnson's also homered. What a ball game, 7-7. Base is empty, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Here's the pitch to the switch-hitting Chipper Jones, batting lefty, 1 for 3, and Jones walks. Albert Bell is 0 for 3. This could be Johnson's last batter. Johnson throws over to first, but Jones gets back. It was very close. Crawford thought they had another pickoff. Jones represents the go-ahead run. Johnson looks in at Shock, nods his head. Shock sets the target. Johnson deals to Bell. Bell swings. That ball goes deep to left. But Jackson had hung up and he's there. Side retired, but the ball game's tied up by the 2-run blast by Frank Thomas. We go to the top of the 9th, knotted at 7. One of the best ball games I have played, folks. Michael Butler is in the chat now. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. He says good afternoon to everyone. 7-7, top of the 9th. Due up for the dead ballers, top of the order, Speaker, Jackson, and Cobb, and they're going to face Mark Eichhorn. Again, Eichhorn 6-4 with 4 saves, 2.50 earned run average, struck out 75, walked 28. Came in relief of Roger Clemens after Clemens was bludgeoned for 7 runs. The last being the 3-run pinch hit home run by Doyle. Speaker 1 for 4, 10 out of 10 bunter. He's going to drop one down. And it goes foul. Rodriguez played that very smartly. It's now no balls, 2 strikes on Speaker. Righty-lefty matchup. Speaker looking to find a hole here. The windup and the pitch by Eichhorn. Speaker swings, and that ball is going to be caught by Griffey in center. Took it off the shoe tops as he came charging in. Nice play by Ken Griffey Jr. 1 out. Here comes Shoeless Joe Jackson, 1 for 3. Rodriguez sets the target. Eichhorn deals. Jackson swings, sends it out. Shallow right center. Griffey's there. 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Ty Cobb. Cobb 0 for 4. He's a 10 out of 10 bunter. Could he try to drop one down? He squares. He drops it. It looks like a good one. And it's going to be another bunt base hit for the dead ballers. He gets his first hit on a bunt hit, and he keeps the inning alive. Cobb. 73% chance of stealing second. He's going. There's a throw down by Rodriguez. Larkin. Safe. Cobb slides in there. He's in scoring position. He is the go-ahead run. Crawford 2 for 4. He has 2 singles and scored a run. Chance to put the dead ballers ahead here. 7-7 ball game. Cobb will be off on contact. Larkin cheats towards the second base bag, trying to keep Cobb close. Eichhorn not even really paying attention. He deals homeward bound. And no! Rodriguez steps up, puts his arm out, and they walked him intentionally. So Crawford is at first, which is strange why they did that. And they're going to pitch to home run Baker, who has a bunt base hit. Baker's 1 for 4. So will Baker make them pay? We shall see. Rodriguez and the Big Hurt on the mound with Chipper Jones having a word with Eichhorn. 7-7 ball game. 2 outs, 2 on. Cobb represents the go-ahead run at second. Big insurance run at first in Crawford. Excellent speed on the base paths. Meeting adjourned. Rodriguez back behind the plate. Jones the third, Thomas the first. Here's the pitch to home run Baker. Will he make candlesticks? Let's see. Baker swings, sends that ball right center field. On the run is Griffey. And he makes the amazing running catch as he reaches out and bangs into the wall. Side retired. The dead ballers threaten but do not score. Johnson is back out on the mound. He's thrown 118 pitches. He says he's strong. He'll face Larkin, Eichhorn, and Alomar. Larkin's 1 for 3. Bullpen action for the dead ballers. 7-7 ball game. Bottom of the 9th. If the 1990 decade team pushes one across, they will take a 1-0 lead in this best of 3. The dead ballers already lost the first series in this tournament, 2-0. I believe that was the 80 decade team beating the 1900 decade team. Both games were pretty good, and they're on the channel on demand. Corners move in for the dead ballers. Larkin 10 out of 10 bunter. Baker in at third, Crawford in at first. Here's the pitch by Johnson. Larkin singles up the middle. Winning run at first base, 75% chance of stealing. Here's Eichhorn. Here's the pitch out. But before that, Rusty Greer will come in to pinch hit. Rusty Greer, kind of shocked that he made the All-Decade team. Again, I don't know how they choose this, but I don't see Rusty Greer as an All-Decade player. Year of selection, 308. 17 homers, 81 RBIs. Left-handed batter. And there's the pitch out. Well, now Schock has a word. And there's the pitch out. Larkin doesn't go. 1 ball, no strikes. Johnson throws over to first. Larkin's back. He looks to first. Now Johnson looks in at Schock. He deals to Greer. That ball goes to Speaker. Speaker comes charging in left center field, and he makes the basket running catch. 1 away, retreating back to first is Larkin. We're 2 outs away from extra innings, and here comes Roberto Alomar, top of the order, 0 for 4. 10 out of 10 bunter, and we're just going to play third in. So Baker in at third. Crawford playing behind. I don't want Crawford. I want him to hold Larkin. There we go. So Crawford holding Larkin at first, Baker in at third. Here's the pitch to Alomar. Alomar sends that ball out to Speaker, and he has it. It hung up in the air. Speaker really didn't have to move too much. Out number 2. 1 out away from extra innings here. Game 1, best of 3. All-Decade Tournament World Series. This is our second series. Johnson up to 122 pitches, good for 150. Johnson throws to first, Crawford, and they picked him off! Crawford snuck in behind him. They pick off Larkin. We go to the top of the 10th. Tied at 7. Wow, what a ball game. Let's go to the chat. In the chat, we have Alan Shaw, Michael Butler, Super Sports 22,000, and Ken Castro, and Mark Forsberg. Once again, happy birthday, Mark. Day early, but happy birthday. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us, and we got some free baseball, as we say. We go to the top of the 10th, due up for the dead ballers. Collins, Schock, and Turner, and the new pitcher for the 1990 decade team, Jeff Montgomery. Montgomery, 4 wins, 4 losses, 26 saves, 2.61 earned run average, struck out 68, walked 27. He's a right-handed thrower. Collins, 1 for 4. 10 out of 10 bunter. Collins going to drop one down. And it goes foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Collins is ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch by Montgomery. Collins swings, hard ground ball. Larkin backhands it, throws to Thomas. It's going to be a bang-bang play. And he is out. Good stretch by the Big Herd. 1 away. Remember, if you've just joined us, Frank Thomas has hit 3 2-run homers. That's the reason we have a 7-7 ball game. And due up for the first time in this game after replacing Myers, and one Doyle came in to pinch hit and hit the 3-run homer to put the dead ballers up at the time, is Schock. Schock, 243, no homers, 47 RBIs, and off right-handed pitching, 250. He's going to drop one down. 8 out of 10 bunter. The catcher squares, it goes foul. 0-2 count on Shock. Montgomery gets a sign from Rodriguez. The windup and the pitch. Shock will single to left center. Go ahead run at first, and again, for a catcher, pretty good runner. 8 out of 10 running ability, 59% chance of stealing second. Thomas holding him on. And now, we go to the number 8 batter. The shortstop, Terry Turner, 1 for 3. Hitting runs on. There goes the runner. There goes Turner. He launches it down the left field line, but foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hit and run again. There goes the runner. Turner swings. That ball's going to find a gap. Shock's going to go first to third. And Turner will be held at first as they cut the ball off before it can get past Griffey or Walker. As Walker did a good job cutting it off. So the hit and run works. Runners on the corners with 1 out. Infield in for the 1990 decade team. And at the plate is Walter Johnson. He is 2 for 4. Johnson has thrown 122 pitches. And he's coming out of the ball game for a pinch hitter, even though he has hit a home run today. Let's see. Montgomery righty. Evans is 302 average. Steve Evans. And Wilson, 297. Sherry McGee, 307. With a slugging percentage of 508. I like that. Let's go with Sherry McGee. And here's McGee. McGee 311 in his year of selection. 14 home runs, 88 RBI. So that's a lot of pop in the dead ball era. Now whether they were inside the park home runs, I do not know. But he had a over 500 slugging percentage. So hopefully he can send a ball deep. And at third, Shock, 8 out of 10 running ability, so he's pretty good. We don't have to pinch run for him. And Turner's 8 out of 10, so infield in. And here's McGee to pinch hit. Will they find the same magic as they did with Doyle when he pinch hit and hit a 3-run homer? Montgomery's ready. He deals to McGee. And McGee sends that ball deep down the line, but foul. Down the left field line. The count's no balls, 2 strikes. Infield still in. Montgomery gets a sign from Pudge Rodriguez. The windup and the pitch. McGee swings, and that ball is in there! And it's going to be a double! And the go-ahead run scores from third, so once again, a pinch hitter comes through for the dead ballers. They go up 8-7, and with 1 out, Turner's at third, and McGee, an excellent base runner, at second. And here comes Trish Speaker, the leadoff batter, the center fielder, 1 for 5. Speaker would love to come through in a big way. Corners, infield in again. Here's the pitch to Speaker. They walk him. They load the bases to set up a double play. Lots of speed on that base pad. I don't know how you're going to turn to him. They're going to face the shoeless one, Joe Jackson, who's 1 for 4. Jackson has singled and knocked in a run. No place to put Jackson. 8-7 dead ballers, top of the 10th. Rodriguez has a word from Montgomery, back behind the plate now. Montgomery nods his head, the windup and the pitch to Jackson. Jackson swings, sends it deep to right. Walker going back at the wall. He makes the catch. And tagging up from third is Turner. And moving from second to third is McGee. So the dead ballers have a 2-run lead now, 9-7 in the top of the 10th. Runners on the corner, and here comes Ty Cobb. His only hit was a bunt single. He's 1 for 5. Montgomery deals to Cobb with 2 outs, 2 on. Cobb goes up the middle for a base hit. Speaker goes first to third. Larkin dove but could not get to the ball. And it is now 10-7 as the dead ballers turning it on here in the top of the 10th. And here's Crawford. Montgomery has already passed his pitches. He's at 32. His threshold is 30. Let's see if Crawford can take advantage of possibly a tiring Jeff Montgomery on the mound. Here's the pitch to Crawford. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And Crawford goes down the line. He's got a double. Cobb, he's going for 3, and Cobb scores! He's going for the inside the park home run! And he gets it! And inside the park home run 7 dead ballers as he just kept flying around the bases, ran through the stop sign, slides in. Rodriguez complaining, said he put the tag on him, but he did not. They not changing the call. He is safe. Wow! An inside the park home run, clearing the bases, and the dead ballers have broke it wide open. They have scored 6 in the top of the 10th and lead 13-7. Coming to the plate, home run Baker. 1 for 5. His one hit was a bunt single. Montgomery's still out on the mound. Why, I don't know. Here's the pitch to Baker. And Baker strikes out. And the side is retired, but the cheers for the 1910 decade fans, you can hear it. It is deafening. They are 3 outs away from victory here in Game 1. Walter Johnson's day is done, as he was pinch hit for by McGee, who came through in the clutch. Let's just give you Johnson's numbers real quick. Johnson, 9 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs. All of them earned. He gave up 3 home runs, all to Frank Thomas. Walked 2, struck out 5. Neither him or Clemens were stellar. Though he's in line for the win. Pitcher of record when the dead ballers went ahead. And now to try to close it out here, let's go to the chat. As we have Alan Shaw, Michael Butler, Super Sport 22,000, Ken Castro, Mark Forsberg, all in the chat. Back to the ball game. Looking to close it out here. Not many people with saves in dead ball. Not that there is even such a thing as a save. They just give you that. What would have been a save. And we're going to go with the lowest ERA. And that will be Wolfgang. Melly Wolfgang will come in to try to get the final 3 outs. Melly Wolfgang. I just love the name. There's Wolfgang. Look at those ears. So Melly Wolfgang will face Rodriguez, Walker, and Thomas. Dead ballers up by 6, 13-7, as they exploded for 6 runs in the top of the 10th. With an inside the park home run. And I already, who hit that? I forgot. Crawford, I think it was. So Melly Wolfgang, 3 wins, 3 losses, no saves. Again, there was no such thing as a save. Saves didn't come into play until the 60s, I believe. I forgot what year exactly. 2.13 earned run average. Does have some control issues, though. He struck out 25, walked 21, so it looks like he had a little control issue. Rodriguez 1 for 4 with a single. Here's the pitch from Wolfgang. Grounder. Baker comes charging in. Quick release to Crawford. 1 down. The dead ballers 2 outs away from taking Game 1, best of 3, round 1 of this all-decade World Series tournament. Here's Larry Walker. He owned the freight train. Walter Johnson 3 for 4. He had 2 doubles and a single that scored 3 times. Wolfgang deals to Walker. And Walker grounds that ball up the middle, past the lunge of Collins. And he's on with his 4th hit. And here comes Frank Thomas. Thomas 3 for 4. 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 3 runs scored. If he does it again, oh my lord. Wolfgang looks to first. And actually Crawford will play behind him. That run means nothing. Here's the pitch to the big hurt. 1 out, 1 on. Thomas sends that ball left center field deep. Speaker reaches out, makes the catch, and bangs into the wall. 2 down. Nice play by Trish Speaker. He went a long way, and he made the catch. Walker retreats back to first. So with 2 outs, the hopes lie upon Ken Griffey Jr. to keep this game alive. Again, Crawford will play behind Walker. His run means nothing at first. Wolfgang gets the sign from Schock. He deals to Junior. Junior's jammed. He pops it up towards the right side. Calling for it is Crawford. He squeezes it. Ball game over. The 1910 decade team, the Dead Ballers, score 6 in the top of the 10th and defeat the 1990 decade team 13-7 in a thriller here at Camden Yards in the all-decade tournament World Series tournament, brought to you by Beatles Eternally. Wow, what a game. Let's go to the box score and call it a stream. But before we do that, let's go to the chat. And I'd like to say thank you to Alan Shaw, Michael Butler, Super Sports 22,000, Ken Castro, Mark Forsberg. Happy birthday, Mark. And I believe that's everybody, and it is. You witnessed one heck of a ball game. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please hit that like button. Please share. If you know anyone who hasn't subscribed, maybe just have them take a peek. All right, there's the box score. We'll do the pitching first. What a ball game. Walter Johnson does get the win, as he was the pitcher of record when the dead ballers exploded for 6 runs in the top of the 10th. Again, Johnson, not a stellar performance. 9 innings, 12 hits, 7 runs. They were all earned. 3 home runs he gave up to Frank Thomas. Walked 2, struck out 5. Wolfgang pitched 1 inning, the bottom of the 10th. Gave up 1 hit. No runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Roger Clemens was bludgeoned for 7 earned runs. 7 1/3, 11 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned. 2 home runs, one by the freight train himself, Walter Johnson. The other one by Doyle, the pinch hitter, a 3-run blast. Walked none, struck out 3. Eichhorn, an inning and 2/3. 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs. And Montgomery took the loss. 1 inning, very poor. 5 hits, 6 runs, all earned. 1 home run, inside the park homer, I believe it was Crawford. Walked 1, struck out 1. Player of the game. My God. Let's see. Who's the player of the game here? Sam Crawford. So we'll tell you why. He had the inside the park home run, the game-winning hit, and RBIs. Sam Crawford, for the dead ballers, was 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, 1 walk, and the inside the park home run. So, the dead ballers, Trish Speaker, 1 for 5, a run scored, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Shoeless Joe Jackson, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Ty Cobb, 2 for 6, a run scored, and an RBI, and a strikeout. Crawford, the player of the game, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, a walk, and a home run inside the park. Home run Baker, 1 for 6 with a run scored and a strikeout. Collins, 1 for 5 with a run scored. Myers, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a strikeout. Doyle, the pinch hitter, 3-run homer. Schock came in to play defense after. He was 1 for 1 with a run scored. Turner, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, the shortstop. Walter Johnson, the pitcher, 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a home run. Had Clemens not given up that home run to Johnson, that's 1 run. And the 1990 Decade team would have won the game. Even though it's early, think about it. All runs matter all the time. McGee, the pinch hitter, 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. He doubled. Wolfgang came in, pitched, did not hit. So in victory, the 1910 Decade dead ballers, 45 at-bats, 13 runs, 17 hits, 13 RBIs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 1 double, and 3 home runs. 1 of the inside-the-park variety by the MVP of the game, Crawford. The 1990 Decade team in defeat, Alomar, 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Rodriguez, 1 for 5 with a strikeout. Walker had quite a great day, 4 for 5, 3 runs scored, and 2 doubles. Thomas had the day of days, 3 for 5, 3 runs scored, 6 RBIs, 1 strikeout, 3 2-run homers, all off Walter Johnson. Ken Griffey Jr., 2 for 4 with a run scored, a walk, a strikeout. He had a stolen base. Chipper Jones, 1 for 3, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Bell, 0 for 4. Larkin, 2 for 4. Clemens, 0 for 3. Eichhorn pitched, did not hit. Greer, the pinch hitter, 0 for 1. Montgomery pitched, did not hit. He took the loss. For the 1990 Decade team, 39 at-bats, 7 runs, 13 hits, 7 RBIs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 2 doubles, and 3 home runs, all 2-run blasts by Frank the Big Hurt Thomas. The 1910 Decade team takes a 1-game-to-none lead in the best of 3. So the 1990 team must win the next game to survive and go to Game 3. Let's go to the recap, and my God, is this going to be long. The 1990 Decade team in the first scored 2 runs on 3 hits. Thomas hit a 2-run blast, 2-0, 1990. In the third, Walter Johnson helped his own cause with a solo shot off Clemens. It was 2-1, 1990. In the fifth, the Dead Ballers, 2 runs on 3 hits. Tris Speaker singled, scoring Turner, tied the game at 2. Then Shoeless Joe Jackson hit a sacrifice fly and gave the Dead Ballers a 3-2 lead. They would score 1 run again in the 6th. Myers singled, scoring Crawford, 4-2 Dead Ballers. Then the 1990 decade team sent 7 batters to the plate, scoring 3 runs on 4 hits. In the bottom of the 6th, Thomas once again hit a 2-run blast, and that tied the score at 4. Then Chipper Jones singled, scoring Griffey to take the lead 5-4. In the top of the 8th, the Dead Ballers scored 3 runs on 3 hits. Larry Doyle hit a pinch hit 3-run homer, and they retook the lead 7-5. Things looking good. Got Walter Johnson on the mound. But guess what? Bottom of the 8th, once again, Frank Thomas, the nemesis of the big train, the freight train, derailed it once again with his 3rd 2-run homer to tie the ball game at 7. We would go to extra innings, and in the top of the 10th, the Dead Ballers exploded. Sent 9 batters to plate, scoring 6 runs on 5 hits and a walk. Cher McGee doubled. He was a pinch hitter, and that knocked in Shock, and that made it 8-7. They weren't done yet. Shoeless Joe Jackson hit a sacrifice fly, made it 9-7, and then Ty Cobb singled, scoring McGee 10-7, and then Crawford hit an inside the park 3-run homer, made it 13-7, and that's the way the ball game would end in unbelievable fashion. So Johnson got the win. Wolfgang came in, pitched a perfect bottom of the 10th. Johnson gets the win. He was a pitcher of record when the Dead Ballers erupted for those 6 runs. Montgomery took the loss out of the pen. The 1910 Dead Ballers take Game 1 13-7 over the 1990 Decade team, and they're 1 win away from advancing to the second round. The 1990 Decade team must win to force a Game 3. This is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as ID Jester joined us in the chat. And he says, running a doubleheader against the Yankees after Al is done. I will be there, Mr. ID. So check that out, ID Jester. Alrighty. So we shall say, Avita say, we'll see you over on ID Jester's channel. Health, happiness till next time. Take care, bye-bye, and God bless. What a game we witnessed. 13-7 Dead Ballers over the 1990 Decade team in 10.